All right, joining us. Look, I don't know beans from buttermilk about, and I don't know where that saying came from. Don't ask me. But I don't know anything about cryptocurrency hardly at all. I need to find out. I've talked to many people in the financial markets and asked them to come on the show and talk about cryptocurrency. You know the answer I get? Dave, I really don't understand it all that much myself. That doesn't make me feel really good, to be honest. But anyway, it's what they say to me. So I wanted to get somebody on that could talk about it. So what did I do? I got somebody on that is, somebody who is deep into this stuff. And then I found out he's from Illinois. Now, I'm from Indiana, but he's from Illinois. I don't know where in Illinois he's from, the land of Lincoln. He went to school in Tulane down in New Orleans. He's been working hard on things like free speech and things of that nature, now into cryptocurrencies. Eric Peterson is the Director of Technology and Innovation Policy at the Pelican Institute and a contributor with Young Voices. So it's good to have him on today. And we want to talk about that economists are really talking about why regulators threatening cryptocurrency innovations as Biden is putting up a new executive order. So with that in mind, Eric, let's start with you. Bring us up to speed on all this. What exactly is going on? And then as just a normal guy out here, why should I be concerned?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Dave. It's great to get on. I am from Northern Illinois and currently at my home in New Orleans. So thankfully we're safe and sound after the tornadoes.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Was that close to you?
It was. It really hit the East New Orleans and over in the West Bank. So we're praying for all those folks. But to answer your question on cryptocurrency, I actually think President Biden's executive order was pretty reassuring to a lot of folks in the cryptocurrency business. I think a lot of folks thought it was going to be much stronger against crypto. And I thought what we saw come out was very pro-innovation. They talked a lot about the need for America to lead in the cryptocurrency space when it comes to innovation, taking those democratic ideals that we have over here in America and making sure we lead on that. But, also making sure that we protect consumers to make sure that there are clear rules of the road and that, anyone working in the business will know how to come in compliance with the law. So it has asked a lot of different executive agencies in different ways to get back in 120 days with some recommendations in various spaces, whether it's on that innovation or consumer protection. And I think people are, I don't want to say excited, but cautiously optimistic about this. It's because for so much what we've seen from the FCC and Treasury is skepticism that cryptocurrency is going to be used to launder money, it's going to be used to defraud consumers, or, it's going to contribute to climate change. And I think a lot of folks thought that was going to be in the executive order, and I know a lot of folks are upset that it wasn't in the executive order in the anti-crypto crowd, but this provides a strong pathway forward for America to continue to lead in the cryptocurrency space as opposed to countries, say, like China, which is, banned cryptocurrency as they move to their own digital dollar.
Okay, so this opens up a whole bunch of questions I got, and I hope that we can get to them in this 30 minutes that we've got together. And let's talk. Wednesday, I went and filed my taxes. First time I've ever had my tax preparer looked at me, and he said, "Have you made anything off or purchased anything with crypto?" And I said, "No, I haven't." I understand, from my belief in economics, that a dollar is only worth as much as you can convince people that it's worth. It may not even be worth as much as you can convince them that it's worth. So bring us up on cryptocurrency. What is its benefits? And for my listeners, what in the heck is it in the first place?
Yeah, it's a great question. There are, of course, lots of different kinds of cryptocurrencies, and that adds to a lot of confusion, not only for, I'm sure, your listeners, but for all the tax preparers out there. Let's start with the first and I would say most important one, this sort of big first cryptocurrency, which is Bitcoin.
Right.
Now Bitcoin, it is a digital store of value. It is a token that you and I could exchange over the internet using a computer. Now, there's lots of programs. We can do it with our phones. But rather than using an intermediary, say a PayPal or a bank account or Venmo, I can send you a Bitcoin, and that would be done by other people running the Bitcoin program on their computer. And so whatever computer validates our transaction that says that I, Eric, sent you, Dave, a Bitcoin, would be rewarded with Bitcoin for doing so. And so that is the sort of mechanism in which you convince people to run the network to allow us to exchange that digital token or store of value. There's a lot of benefits to this, right? Of course, there's no bank account to get in between us to stop us from transacting. But there's also the benefit of, due to how Bitcoin is programmed by the algorithm, there can only be 21 million Bitcoins ever. And so for a lot of folks right now, and I'm sure a lot of your listeners are very concerned about inflation, this is a way to make sure that there are no more Bitcoin that will ever be circulating than there are dollars, and it will give folks some belief that it'll resist inflation. In fact, in some ways, will act as a deflationary tool.
Wow, that's kind of like a gold standard, isn't it?
Yeah. So a lot of Bitcoin started after the financial crisis. If you look at the first sort of message by the person who came up with a Bitcoin protocol, and nobody knows exactly who that is, so there is rampant speculation to that part. It was right after the bank bailouts of 2008 and 2009. And there's, a lot of concern about the money sort of going into that system at the time. And so the person that came up with the Bitcoin protocol, I think, wanted to make sure that, they had a sound sort of money supply for the digital economy. And, just by the way that nature of computers work, you can program it to do a certain thing and, make sure that that doesn't change. And so I think a lot of folks' belief in Bitcoin and the reason they want to transact in Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin is, the belief that it will function as something of a gold standard. But unlike gold, right, I wanted to buy something from you in gold right now. I would have to get you a gold bar or a gold coin. It's pretty difficult to do.
Right.
But transacting online in Bitcoin is actually quite easy.
This is really interesting because I could see why some people would be afraid of this, and other people are like, this is really great. This is capitalism at its best. Yeah, in a lot of ways, it's a money, right, without the government. And so you have some governments like China that are very afraid of this, right, because it allows people to function as their own bank, to take care of their own finances, to be able to transact freely, and to have a money supply that they believe in and other people believe in. That's the reason it has value. Rather than a force of government. But, and of course, countries like China are very concerned because they can't look at your transactions. They don't have a central bank that can control the money supply. Mm-hmm. So they're very concerned. But, I would say, again, to the president's executive order, I think the pro-cryptocurrency folks were very concerned that the Biden administration was going to move in that direction. And I think we're very, again, pleasantly surprised that the administration signaled at least a willingness and an openness to want to lead in this industry with our, America's democratic values behind it. Well, that's what Jefferson would have said on something like this. He would have said the government would want to get their fingers in the pie, so to speak. Yeah, that's a good question, right, is how much government's going to be involved in this. And I think for a lot of very pro-cryptocurrency folks, any kind of government involvement, taints it or makes it something that they're unconvinced about. But, at the end of the day, you're looking at something that's now, worth about $3 trillion. If you look at the entire crypto economy, you've got companies running Super Bowl ads. So at some level, there was going to be regulation about it as businesses popped up in America and elsewhere to help people buy and transact in cryptocurrency. Yeah, well, I could see you need to have some guardrails, but what you don't want is you don't want roadblocks.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And again, we haven't seen what exactly has come of this executive order, right? They've asked folks to, take 120 days and come back with some solutions. But, currently, I think we have seen both a mix of guardrails and roadblocks, right? The Securities and Exchange Commission seems to believe that all cryptocurrency is a security and, has tried to regulate it as such and has even levied a $100 million fine on one company called BlockFi. Coinbase, which your listeners might be familiar with, as they ran that Super Bowl ad that had the QR code bouncing around their TV screen.
Right.
Tried to have a product that would allow people to lend out cryptocurrency at about an 8% return rate. And the SEC said no dice. So that's, been really, I think, anti-innovation, especially since those products have so far not caused any consumers to lose money. In fact, they've been a great hedge against inflation. But then you have states like Wyoming that have been very pro-cryptocurrency, has put in a lot of great legal definitions, has empowered a whole new class of innovators and brought billions of dollars to their state from folks who want to innovate in the cryptocurrency space.
All right. Eric, I got to get a break in. I'd like to talk a little further with you. I'd like you to talk to my listeners about, how they get involved in the cryptocurrency and give them maybe a little primer on that if you got the time to do that, and talk about where you think the roof is on cryptocurrency. Is the sky the limit, or is there really some, I guess some stuff out there that's going to keep it under control or whatever? Some people are going to say, no, it can't go any further than this. Eric Peterson is the Director of Technology and Innovation Policy at the Pelican Institute down in New Orleans. He's a contributor with Young Voices. He's here on the Dave Elswick Show. We'll talk to him further as we continue when we come back from this break. Don't forget about David Lucas Financial. Been talking to them. Now, we're talking about cryptocurrency right now. You need to know about cryptocurrency before you jump into cryptocurrency. That's why I'm having Eric on today. And something else you need to know. A lot of people want to get into silver and gold right now because they're concerned about the gyrations that the stock market's going through, and they want to protect themselves on their IRAs, 401ks, their nest eggs for their retirement. But buying gold and buying silver is different than buying a stock or a bond. It's totally different. So what do you need to know? Well, that's where David Lucas Financial comes in. Learn how silver and gold could help you protect your assets by calling 501-222-3315. They work with one of the only regulated and licensed national wholesalers in the country, so you're going to get direct prices from a dealer that you can trust. If you want to learn more about buying silver and gold, call 501-222-3315. 501-222-3315. Investment advisory services are offered through David Lucas Financial, an Arkansas registered investment advisor. All right, back with you talking cryptocurrency this morning for about a half an hour, and I'm going to do more shows on this because I really think it is the wave of the future, and I want you to know exactly, how to get involved in this without getting taken, and that's why I've asked Eric to be on with us, Eric Peterson from the Pelican Institute down in New Orleans. He's from Illinois. And by the way, you said northern Illinois. I don't know if it's Cook County that you're from, Eric, but a gallon of gas now in Cook County is $4.70.
I am from McHenry County.
McHenry, okay.
From Woodstock, famous for having Groundhog Day filmed there. So we're very proud of that in our little town, and I am glad to not be paying Illinois gas taxes right now.
I agree. I was born in Gary, Eric. I was raised in Northwest Indiana, the redheaded stepchild of Chicago. So, yeah, I know all about the gas prices up there and how it's going. I wonder what they're charging over in Northwest Indiana right now. But let's get back to cryptocurrency. You said it's a several $trillion industry right now. How does a person go about getting into this? I mean, I want people to go in with their eyes open. So what do they need to know?
Yeah, that's a great question. Again, I think when we're talking about getting onto cryptocurrency, right, I like to liken it to the very early days of the internet. For your listeners that remember the early 90s when, they would go on a modem and, inserting your credit card seemed very scary to buy plane tickets or to buy something on eBay. So we're a lot like that right now. And I would say the safest place for any of your listeners to get involved would be with a large exchange like Coinbase, Gemini, or Kraken. They list dozens of different kind of cryptocurrencies. The question is which one that you want to get into, and I won't offer financial advice. That's not what I do. But there is there's so many great resources for people to find out, because the folks who are into cryptocurrency want others to adopt their cryptocurrency, and put out a lot of really great resources online to figure out about that. So, the two things that you if you want to get started in cryptocurrency, one is to download a crypto wallet. There's all sorts of programs that can do it. Do it on your phone. Do it on your browser. It's a great way to get started, and there's lots of how-tos on the internet. You'll have to write down a long password, so make sure you write that and keep it somewhere safe. And then, go to an exchange, and lots of them have a lot of great tutorials, and will even give you a little bit of cryptocurrency for learning about it. And so I would, anyone who wants to get started, that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, how about, people who help people prepare for the future, building up their nest eggs and things of that nature? Is that part of the industry, savvy about cryptocurrency, or are they a little standoffish from it yet?
Yeah, we haven't quite gotten to the place where we're offering, for example, IRAs that invest in Bitcoin. That's just not something that can be offered yet legally. But I know a lot of folks who believe in cryptocurrency in the long term, take and invest cryptocurrency and just hold it for long periods of time. That's their plan. They're not, dealing with the fluctuations of the market every day. They're putting a little bit of their retirement into it with the idea that they think it will, continue to grow, right? If you talk about where Bitcoin was even, 5 years ago, is at, about $5,000 a coin, and now it's fluctuating about $40,000 a coin. So, the folks that are in there are long-term bullish about the prospects of cryptocurrency, and, there's a belief that it gets adopted even more, that it will continue to rise in price.
All right. So if someone wants to come to the Pelican Institute and get information about this, what's your all's, website address?
Yeah, you can find us at pelicaninstitute.org.
All right, easy enough. Let's have you on again in the future, Eric, and we'll talk further about this and let people call in and talk to you about cryptocurrency. How's that sound to you?
Sounds great. Happy to talk to your folks.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. Eric Peterson here on the Dave Elswick Show. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am a neophyte when it comes to cryptocurrency, but I've heard good things about it. I know somebody who said that they got into it and they bought a little bit of it at a low price. It went up to a high price. At one point, it was at $63,000, and they had bought at a much lower rate. And they made enough money off of what they had bought that they traded it in, and they took their wife on a cruise. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal at all. So we'll talk more about this as the future unfolds in front of us here on the Dave Elswick Show. Sounds like something for the future. It's the Dave Elswick Show. Hey, Joe is going to be with us coming up. We'll talk cars here on the Dave Elswick Show. Stick around. More coming your way.